Good morning. I'm David Gray. This is the Calgary Eye Opener for Tuesday, February the 24th. Coming up this hour, how skilled temporary foreign workers are handling the downturn in the oil patch. 12 minutes now after 7 o'clock. These are tough times for a lot of people dealing with the changes in Calgary's economy. Oil companies are tightening their purse strings, cutting back on development projects, laying off workers. While some employees might be able to ride out the industry's ups and downs, it's not the same situation for the many skilled temporary foreign workers who also work in the oil patch. To find out how the price of oil is affecting their careers, Evelyn Ackah joins me now in studio. She's a business immigration lawyer here in Calgary. Good morning, Evelyn.
Good morning, David. Thanks for having me.
Well, we have seen a change, haven't we?
We definitely have.
How are oil prices affecting temporary foreign workers here in Calgary?
Well, I'm already seeing some of our clients having to make decisions about layoffs, terminations. Some of them are looking at job sharing options as well. This time around, it seems more strategic. It's not as quick to cut as it was, I think, in 2008. I think companies, large oil and gas companies, are considering, what happens once the price goes up again. And so they're actually being very thoughtful this time around and quite compassionate about how they make these transitions for foreign workers, as well as Canadians, obviously.
We've talked a lot about temporary foreign workers here in the program over the last year or so as the federal government has struggled with changes in policy. But you deal with a lot of skilled temporary foreign workers in the oil patch. Who are those people? What do you mean?
I mean people who could be CEOs, COOs, very, very senior executive leadership that I also deal with, in addition to obviously engineers that work in the oil industry. And these people are global employees in the sense that it's hard to find great leadership with experience globally in the oil and gas industry. So we spent a lot of money with executive search people bringing them here. And now we have to be very careful how we make those transitions, because we may not be able to get them back again 2 years from now when we need them again.
Are they able to move easily where the jobs are?
It seems to be the nature of the oil and gas industry. We have clients who've worked all over the world, and their employees, their families may stay in one place, but they may be in and out. So it's very common. But the price now affecting everybody, not just here in Canada, I think it's going to be more challenging for them to find new positions.
I ask because there is a school of thought out there saying, look, isn't it preferable to cut the temporary foreign workers in order to keep the Canadian employees? I mean, who should be the first to go?
Absolutely. It's about Canada and Canadian workers first. That is the whole premise of the Canadian immigration program. However, we recognize it's very difficult to find skilled, specialized, experienced employees, sometimes on projects who've worked for 35 years. We don't have some of that depth. We're developing it, and they're helping us train and develop Canadians. But sometimes we do need to go outside to bring in the expertise.
So when they come to you, what kind of advice are they looking for right now?
They're looking for how can we keep them. And so sometimes we look at, have they applied for permanent residence? Are they really close to that final stage? If they are, keeping them for a few months is a compassionate measure, because it allows them to look elsewhere, maybe new employers, opportunities, different industries with their backgrounds. So we talk about where they're at in the immigration process. If not, they can usually stay in Canada, even if they're unemployed, for the term of their work permit. So that, if they can financially afford to just be here and look for a new employer to sponsor them under the labor market process, then that's an option as well. Sometimes they could go off on long-term leave just to keep them as employees for 6 months. Things could change in that time. So before they make the quick cut, I always say, have you considered all your options? Because you can't always get them back.
Everyone knows someone in their neighborhood who's moved here from away. That's Calgary. That's the way it's always been here. But certainly in the last few years, we've seen a greater influx of people coming in with their skills to work in the oil patch. They've brought their families, or they're planning to bring their families.
Yes.
They've become integrated in the community. They work and, they do good work with charities in town. They've really become part of this city. Has that future changed for them right now? Is there a great sense of, instability?
Absolutely. It's really quite sad. I spent a lot of time on the phone with leadership, COO, even some CEOs who are like, what are we going to do? Because our families are here and we're not finished our permanent residence process. So how do we bridge them? So we're looking at strategies of how can we keep them here, even if they're unemployed or on their projects. Could they do consulting work? You look at all options, because the impact to the families is really severe, and they will not want to come back if they have to leave the country, under these circumstances. So again, it's important to seek good counsel, get all the options possible before you make that decision. But at the end of the day, I run a business. I understand how it is. If you have to, you have to.
This isn't a new roller coaster. This is just the latest dip in this older roller coaster. Who knows when a recovery will come. But what should oil and gas companies be thinking about or doing in terms of dealing with their foreign workers right now?
Well, I think just like with all their workers, Canadians or foreign workers, they need to be looking at strategic, long-term view of the situation and not just a quick across-the-board cut. And I know, having spoken to a number of them, as clients or on different boards and committees, they are really looking differently this time around than they were in 2008, 2009, because they know that they lost a lot of institutional knowledge when they let foreign workers and Canadians go. So I think they're taking their time and they're holding on and trying to ride the situation as best they can.
Evelyn, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, David. I appreciate it.
That's Evelyn Ackah. She's a business immigration lawyer here in Calgary.